Okay, I've done something unusual for this video. I've actually spent money on a camera, so I don't need a hand free to hold on to it anymore. It's another random teardown. And today's teardown is provided to you by the local skip, where somebody has clearly gotten rid of their hot tub. It was full of bits of hot tub, pipes, pumps, junction boxes and this thing. Now, I already know what's in here because I had to loosen the end caps up. But this is an O3Zone by Balboa. Yeah, an O3Zone. I don't know why they called it that. Because ozone is O3, but it just sounds like a really fiddly way to name something. Which on this small label here, okay, I'm going to try to get you to read that. It says ozone generator Balboa OZBA 240. I'm guessing that means 240 volts. And if you look here, oddly enough, 240 volts AC 50 or 60, or 120 volts AC 50 or 60. Well, the reason is that when I looked at the manual, here's the other end of the cable, 4 connectors, one is earth, and which of the other 3 you put power into is how you select 120 or 240 volts. So yes, it is dual voltage, but you have to configure it accordingly. As for how it's used, there's a little hole at one end, and there is that's a screw hole. It's meant to be plugged up. That's just damage. And there is a hose clip. It doesn't produce ozone through a pumping action. It relies on an external source sucking air through it. In through one end, out through the other. And the source of suction is simple Venturi effect. It's hooked up to the pump's outlet, so the pump doing the bubbles or circulating water in the hot tub will cause a low pressure region when you properly plumb it in, which will suck air through this thing. Air goes in, air when a high ozone content comes out. Yeah, it's not sophisticated, but you want to see how it works. How do you make ozone? Well, there's 2 ways you can make ozone in the convenience of your own hot tub. You can either collect it from an arc discharge through air, or you can bombard air with a short wavelength ultraviolet light, and this has to be really short wavelength. You're talking UVC, the stuff that will burn your skin off, which is why it's in this nice black tube, because this is a UV generator. Now, can I get it open again? One moment. Because the innards of this are potentially dangerous, and because it is operated near a big tub of water, it's quite solidly sealed. Even after having the end off once to see inside it. There we go. End cap 1. You can see it is just a damaged thing that's meant to be covered, and a hole to suck the ozone out through. You can't see the ends properly yet. Right, other end. Come on. Loose enough to get the screwdriver into. There, got it. Can't doubt whether this thing's splash resistant. There we go. And the innards, it has a reflective inner lining, which really ought to be a bit longer, and there's no proper anchorage to make sure it stays centered. It could slide up and down along there, so yeah, that's one part of the design I personally would not consider quite satisfactory myself. I would have done a little bit of a better job on that. The body of the machine is just a piece of pipe. That's very efficient, isn't it? It's a piece of plain old grey pipe. You can feel the ridge around the black, which they have wrapped up in this printed black cover with their logo and writing on it. But yeah, it's just a pipe. There is a tube here which generates the UV. Now, judging by the blob of silvery stuff inside and the HG logo, I'd say this is a mercury discharge tube. That's a pretty safe guess. The mercury is very solid, tells me it's probably seen its best years past by now. And it has a little circuit board which does, I don't know how it drives it. Although it is notable the whole thing's covered in some kind of shiny resin coating. Presumably protection should you do get a few drops of water infiltrating. Oh, it's got a fuse on there. That's nice. I see 4 diodes in standard bridge rectifier configuration. I imagine most of this is just for starting the tube up and current regulation. It's basically your standard fluorescent light fitting, except with a UV tube. And that is how you generate ozone for a hot tub. Nothing too sophisticated. And I have absolutely no use for this thing at all, so into the bin it goes. In terms of would I think this is a well designed piece of equipment? Yes, actually I would. You can see there is ample space here for the seal. It's got some kind of sealant that was really hard to force off. This really would have kept water out quite effectively. I think that's not an airtight seal, so yeah. The instructions clearly say to mount this well above the waterline, because if you mounted it below the waterline and the pump was turned off, it would start emptying through the electronics on here. So I would consider that may be a flaw, that the thing is safe if you properly install it according to the manufacturer's instructions, but if it's just some amateur not reading them properly, there's a good chance they could mess up and electrocute everyone. So that's possibly a flaw, but if you use this thing as it's designed to be used, I'd say it's pretty safe. So, back together. And into the bin it goes.